Hello, I'm PX3 and welcome back to the video. I think with all this talk of tutorial worlds recently and how exciting the new one's going to be, it'd be kind of cool to look back at all of the tutorials we've seen so far and show you what each of them look like, because someone has gone and combined them all into one map, which is what I'm going to be showing and playing through today. So this shows you each of the tutorial worlds with a tutorial castle in it, and I'm going to be showing you, exactly how they've evolved and progressed over time. Hopefully you do enjoy the video, like it if you do, because it helps out the channel, and let us know you do like seeing, old tutorial worlds. Maybe you'll see your first one here, maybe you'll see your favorite one here, because I think the cool thing about seeing all of these is there is a slow progression. Like, I think maybe the 4J art team has gotten bigger as it goes on, because this first tutorial castle, so this isn't TU1, which technically had, something at spawn, but it was a village, and, villages didn't make too much sense after that, but this is TU7, the first one on this particular thing, because TU7 was the first time they took the next to spawn area and built a castle here. So, the first of these spawn castles, let's call it, and yeah, here you can see, it's a pretty nicely built thing. I don't know if you can really call it a full-on castle or like a building, but it's got kind of like a, grand structure. It's bigger than most things you would have built by the time, because this was the TU7. So yeah, relatively early on in Minecraft console's life cycle, they redesigned the entire thing, and it was kind of cool, because this was where the first music disc hunt was, and you might, recall I did a whole, video on that, because it was kind of fun. But yeah, you can see this first area is pretty cool for a bunch of reasons. Oh, that's not correct, but yeah, there's lots of different secret areas. It also was meant to teach you about enchanting, about brewing, and also just over here, I believe it taught you about animals as well. So yeah, a lot of ways to teach you about things that were new, and that's a common trend you'll see as we go onwards here. Like, not only does the build itself get a little bit nicer, but the things it's teaching you about kind of expands, and therefore the build does too. So yeah, next up we're going to move on to TU13, so 6 updates later, because this is what the TU13 tutorial world looked like. As you can see, we got the same, kind of stables with, plants again. It's not the same set of plants and stables, but, it's the same idea of like, yep, let's teach people about those things. But then, obviously, the rest of this tutorial world gets a lot bigger and a lot, I guess, grander. So here you can see this is how it was kind of built to spawn. Very, very different to anything we've seen so far, and very foreign compared to, the kind of usual kind of tunnel followed by everything else that you usually see. But yeah, this is TU13, and as you can see, it's a pretty cool tutorial world, because it does feel almost like a city. I imagine it was based on, some form of Scottish city, but yeah, as you can see looking around this thing, that, yeah, each building was teaching you about a separate thing, or just some cases, buildings were just, oh yeah, here's a nice thing to go in and look at, and I believe there was a couple of music hidden around the place, and it was just a, interesting way to teach you about brand new TU13 features, which included stuff like, or TU12 features, which include stuff like, of course, the Iron Golem, includes stuff like, I think maybe anvils. There was a lot of features that you wouldn't expect in there, and obviously the world was to teach you about them, while giving you a brand new scenery to explore at the same time. So yeah, like I said, it says TU13 on the wall, but I realize it's TU12. If we move on to the next one, by breaking through another wall, because again, these were combined, I'm not entirely sure if it was like by hand or for a map, but yeah, these were combined kind of like this, with obsidian walls peeking between each one, because we move on to the next one, it's TU15's world, which was a recreation of TU13's one. So yeah, the major differences is that, yep, here you can see, that's the kind of anvil place, which is where the anvils were truly first added, because even though TU14 was based on the 1.3 update, there was a lot of 1.4, 1.5, and 1.6 stuff in there, which meant that, for the first time there was carpets, the first time, or, there's a lot of weird stuff, like a few different plants, lots of stuff from 1.4, including the anvils, so they've recreated it, and there aren't many changes, like the same kind of base structures there, but they also rearranged some of the discs and stuff, and yeah, it was basically just an upgrade to the TU15 world. However, the TU19 world, which is next, once we break through another wall, the TU19 world really was a whole reimagination, because they had to go through so many brand new features. Again, at the time, and arguably to this day, it's got some of the most features from any single update, because it had, so many new redstone features. Like, the redstone alone was a full update from the PC. It had the exploration horse stuff, there was, again, its whole own update, as well as these scary updates. So it combines all that stuff into one, and as you can see, they have to kind of make it a grander scale to make up for that. So here's, a fountain, which leads you first to the animals and the food. Again, one more time. You notice that's a common trend, but it also has the new food in there too. You notice that's a common trend, but as well as that, you've got, if you look just to the right here, you've got your anvils, your fireworks, your beacons, by the way, added for the first time this update, you got all that sort of stuff. You look to the right over here, you've got the old enchanting brewing, and you can kind of work out how just more and more stuff is slowly added. Here's your big redstone area to teach you about all this stuff, and yeah, you can kind of see how that happens. And then, as well as all of that, once you're kind of done with that, and you want to see some more music discs and stuff like that, here is the castle from this update. So yeah, although it's not as big as the previous castles, which have been kind of all-encompassing all over the map, you can see it is really, decently sized, and it's also one of the best looking ones so far. Like, again, I feel like this is one of the turning points in like how many art people they must have hired, because the amount, the design on this thing alone is pretty impressive, but also everything else in this tutorial world was just designed a little bit nicer than before. They weren't the sorts of builds that you could conceivably build yourself. There's sorts of build that you can look at and go, wow, yeah, that's that looks like it was designed, at least for me, designed by someone with a little bit more skill than me, which, I know, maybe, I find that kind of interesting to look at personally, and obviously the interiors are kind of the same. I mean, I don't think they're quite as nice as the outside, and also, by the way, this castle was based on a real-world build, because, I remember that you might recall that a while before this came out, they said, "Oh yeah, so we actually did a building contest for like hiring art people based on some real world structure, and then this castle was then based on again it's a famous Scottish castle. I should know more about exactly what it is, but for now I'll just say it looks pretty cool, right? Pretty nice improvement. But that brings us to the present, because after this point, because they put so much effort into each one, they decided to let each world sit for a year or until each biggest update for the year, which is why TU31's TU31 after the last couple of years there's been so many more updates, but yeah, TU31's tutorial world, as you can see, is just so much of a step above TU19's, which was already a big step above TU15's one, because here you can see it's not just a kind of castle. In this case, this is more of a church. I mean, there's a castle elsewhere in the world that looks a little similar to that one, but better. Yeah, you can see this is the kind of spawn area, so you spawn roughly over here, and then you walk forwards into the village, and again, it's a bit more natural way to show you around all the stuff. One of the houses is filled with redstone stuff. In fact, let's go look around a bit. So I believe just over here somewhere there's okay. So here are your crops. Here are your slime blocks. Over here there is a redstone house somewhere, I swear. And yeah, there's all this stuff that just kind of lets you explore stuff at your own rate. I really love this. Oh, and then there's this whole other section here for animals and for that and that. I really love this tutorial world. Oh, I guess I'm in reverse, that's how I got confused. I really love this tutorial world because, again, it took the previous one, went bigger, went better, and that's why I'm so excited about the future and when a new tutorial world comes out, because it's a small thing, but being able to explore it, being able to do the disc hunt, it might be like a day's worth of content, but it's a day worth of just fun. Oh yeah, here's a bonus alongside the update, which, again, just a fun little thing to check out with each update. If you don't want to do so yourself, I will always be streaming it as soon as the thing is out, and yeah, I'm excited to see if that new one makes this one look like, oh yeah, this is so much better than this. I know, I'd love to, see how that does happen, but for now, hope you all enjoyed this video. Like it if you did like it, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. Be sure to check the description, because again, this map wasn't made by me, it was made by, I think, Mr. Porky's is the name, but yeah, I'll leave the link and stuff down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.